name is Nikki. I'm the Clinical Director of Speech Language Pathology, and today I'm showing you one of my favorite toys, the ball popper. But I'm not just going to show you the ball popper. It's a cool toy, but the reason I love the ball popper, the reason I love this ball popper is because it offers a lot of repetition. It's really great to start with kiddos who have a harder time understanding language and using language. Usually when our kiddos are not using a lot of language, not always, but sometimes they might not understand the language. That's always the most important piece. We need to know, is a kiddo not using language because they don't understand or because they can't physically make the different sounds? Those are two important distinctions. If they don't understand, we want to use a lot of repetition so they start to understand the language and then they'll start to use it. So let me show you what I love to do with this ball popper. The number one thing I love is that kids do not know where the on button is. This is called a people toy. So in a program called More Than Words, it's a phenomenal program. It really helps break down parent training for kiddos and helping parents use different tools that speech and language therapists use. But something that's really important is if your kiddo does not know how to turn something on, don't show them automatically. The reason being is we want them to be engaged with us and we want them to have a reason to communicate. It's really just a way of creating a communication opportunity. So I'm really sneaky about turning this on. I never really let a kiddo see it. All right, and so when I turn it on, I usually go through the same routine. It's one of my favorite tools. I use it in all of my evaluations with my little itty bitties who come in to see me, and I use it in therapy all the time. It's one of my favorite toys I've ever purchased, and I've had this over 10 years. It's a really great tool. Okay, and so how I usually start with it is I see, does a kiddo know how to turn it on? Do they try? Do they come to mom? Do they pull her hand? Do they pull dad's hand? Are they looking at me? Are they trying to reference me? Or is it just too difficult? And then I'll usually start by making a silly sound. I'll go, ugh. We use a lot of environmental sounds to entice kiddos. It sounds really silly and they look at us like we're a bit crazy. That's important. We want them to be interested in what we're showing them, and we want to kind of create a fun way of doing it versus, look at this. The second we put a demand on a kiddo is the second we lose them. So I'll usually start with, ooh, we're gonna turn it on. Ready, set, go. And I'm really sneaky. I turn it on, I go, push. It plays music, and it pops out, the balls go all over. I let it play out. So the way that I really try to make sure I'm using this tool is that once it's on, it's fair game, it's playtime. We don't want to put so much pressure on a kiddo that they're constantly being quizzed. If they're constantly being quizzed, they're not going to learn anything. So I let all the balls pop out, and then I use the balls as a great way to follow one-step directions. Go get the ball. Put it in. Roll, 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 roll. Down. And you will see me do this routine over and over and over. The reason being is I want to set up the expectations. This is what you can do and this is how you can request. And then once a kiddo starts to know, I'll pull back the ball and I'll say, ooh, let's get the ball. I'll use some simple sign language too, because we know research has shown that sign language can help aid in verbal production. So we really want to give our kiddos all the communication strategies so that they feel less frustrated and they're more likely to try verbal language. Don't be afraid of sign language. It's really wonderful tool and can help a ton. Don't be afraid of repetition. This is a wonderful game that we play very frequently. All of our speech therapists at MeBe have one in their room because it is such a wonderful tool. We really love repetition. We love building understanding, and that we know the more our child understands, the more verbal language they might try. There's lots of ways to communicate. We use tons of ways to communicate every single day. You can see me still using my hands. I'm gesturing. We use our body language. So we really already naturally use a lot of augmentative and alternative communication ourselves. Our cell phones are just one of those things that we use, and we use that every single day. So really be open to trying different communication strategies. Embrace the repetition. It's really wonderful, and have a lot of fun. We know that our kiddos who are not having fun are not going to make as much progress. So enjoy and have a lot of fun with your kiddo. Thanks for watching.
Yahoo! Yippee! MeBe!